So today we're going to go over adding a field action to a screen so that way we can accomplish something. So what I did in preparation for this was I added two fields to the item screen, a user checkbox, which is just yes or no, and a user field. So the concept is that they can check this yes, and it will populate this with a value. I'm going to use the user. So essentially, the whole concept is just that you can do something to this field, and it will populate another field, or basically adding a field action to accomplish a task. So with this user checkbox and this user field, what I want to do first is go to my screen for my item master. And I'm going to go and look at what the SPAY is. So it's SPAY ITM. I need to keep that in mind because once I add the field action, I have to go and add code inside of that script to make it do what I want to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to fields, and I'm going to go down to the field I added. So I'm going to go to this user checkbox, and I want to be able to make it so that this user checkbox gets checked and it will populate the field below. So while I'm here, I'm actually going to go over and change the graphic object on this, because right now it's just a yes or no. If I put checkbox, it'll be a checkbox. They can check the checkbox, populate the field. So once I am on my field, I can go down here to the actions. These are all the different type of field actions available. For more information on what the different ones do and when they're triggered, you can definitely check out the Sage guide on development guide. So I'm going to use the after change, because what that'll do is after they make a change to this field, it will trigger this action. The action is SPAY, which means it's going to look at the SPAY script for guidance on what to do from here. So once I add this, I can click Save and click Validation, click Yes. And at this point, I can go to Development, Script Dictionary, Script Editor, and I can put in my script name, which is SPAY ITM. I'm going to copy all that's here, and I'm going to put this inside of Notepad++. I can see that when I added my field action, it added this piece to the script right here, the subprogram AM check user. So I'm going to make a spot in between here and in this. And I'm going to add a few lines of code to do what I need to do. The first thing I'm going to do is add an inf box that will make sure I am where I need to be. So I'm going to basically go through and put this in here. I'm going to compile the code, and I'm going to go into my products real quick, and I should be able to, once I check this box, it's been modified, therefore it popped up my inf box. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Changed it again, popped up the inf box, did exactly what I wanted to do. So I'm going to cancel out there. So I know that my after field action is triggering as I expect it to. So now if I go back into my SPAY, I'm going to actually go here and go look just so I can verify what my field names are. And they are Z check user and Z user. So what I want to do is add code in here to accomplish a task. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to say after modification of this field, I want it to make the other field equal to something. So in this situation, I put the screen mask for that field and the field name, which is Z user, is equal to, I'm going to try to use the global variable genome user, which should just be the username for the current user. And then after that, I want to refresh that field. That way it will refresh the actual screen with the new value. So I'm actually going to comment out my if box because I don't need that now. And I'm going to go back to my script. Put in my new, compile this, close this, go back into my products. I use checkbox, and it actually is putting in the user code. So if I save this and uncheck it, it's still there. If I want to clear it out, I'll have to add additional code in there to clear it out once this, if this value is equal to a 1 or 2 or checked or not checked. So why don't we go through and do that real quick. All right, so if I was to go back into my script, and currently I just have it so that the after it's changed, it's going to make that value equal to the genome user. And then I'm going to refresh that screen. If I want to add criteria, depending on what the value is of the Z check user, I may want it to clear that box. So, for example, I can say if the screen value of this is equal to 1, I'm sorry, it's equal to 2. Well, if it's equal to 1, then I want to clear that box. So I'm going to make that value equal to 0, or make that value equal to blank. And then I'm going to put an end if. And then I'm going to say if this value is equal to 2, then put end if. So if it's set as no, then it's going to be blank. If it's 2, then it's going to use the user. So let's put this back in the script and see how that works out. So if I go back to my products, checkbox is blank, didn't clear it out. Oh, I have it backwards. Very simple fix. So I'm just going to go to my script one more time. And 2, 1. Copy that. Go to my script editor. SPATM. Put this in here. You want to make sure you compile after you make a change. That will actually create your ADX file, which is what the system actually uses to run this. So go back to products, clear back, and voila. If it's checked, it's filled. If it's not checked, it's blank. So you can use this for a number of things. You can create field actions for after a certain field. It can populate another field. If you check a box, it can populate a field. I'm using a global variable, but you could definitely populate this with anything, a date, a field from a table, whatever you're looking to do. So I will say that if you're using this on anything with an instant transaction, you'll need to validate the instant transaction as well. So that way it pushes your changes out to your generated W screens. So thank you. That is it.